guys, welcome back to another video. I'm basically doing a guide for beginner and intermediate players to everything Darktide related. I'm basically going to create a new character, go through the process, take you through the ropes, what you want to be looking for, how to play the game basically. So when you start off, you'll either be greeted to this screen. If not, press create operative, you'll be greeted with this screen. For the purpose of this video, I'm going to go with veteran just because it's my favorite. You can do the show details just to get a basic idea of what your class and is, what it starts off with. If something else you're more attracted to another class, just do that. But again, for the purpose of this video, I'm going to be doing veteran. So the first thing with character selection, it gives you a choice of basically your background story for the character. What this basically does is it changes the interactions that your character has with other people's characters. That's it. I'm not going to go into every single possible quote and voice line and stuff. Just go into the roleplay and whatever you think your character would suit, go with it. I'm gonna go with like an honest loose cannon, so Rosiria, however you pronounce that. A small agri world that produces intensely farmed and mass harvested grain crops. Rosidians are the butt of many jokes, considered backwards by other Mobians, and yet they are hardworking and honest to a fault. That sounds like what I want to do. In terms of my childhood, we'll do a Grox Protter, just because that's funny. Growing up, there aren't a lot of options for folk like you growing up, but you had to find a way to overcome the trials of youth by fair means or foul. I was a hive ganger. Hive gangs are territory criminal organizations and run all manner of rackets in the lower depths of the hive world. The most hard-bitten gangers are highly sought after as recruits for the Astra Militarum, although most would rather die in a pit fight than serve the Emperor as a soldier. Facts. My defining moment, let's make it a duel. Despite attempts by the authorities to crack down on them, honor duels remain a popular, if deadly, method of settling disputes throughout the Mobian domain. So to give another example of what this actually does, so let's say there's a character interaction and they're talking about your past. So one of the characters might be like, I know what you did in the past. I don't want to mess around with you. If you have duel here, if you have decorated for bravery or elite formation, they might make fun of you for whatever reason. But yeah, these do have an impact. It just helps with the atmosphere of the game, to be honest. It's funny moments, good lines. It absolutely adds to the immersion to the game, period. So continuing on, we're gonna look at our character. Let's go with a male. I am a male. Now in terms of face, let's make him a little goofy because I've already got another character that's like a self roleplay. Yeah, I don't know. That one. Looking good there. So let's give him 2 eyeballs. Eye color. Let's just make a normal brown. I say normal, but fair enough. Now for the hair. Oh, what am I doing? Let's just make him bold. I have a shaved head. Yeah, that'll do. Don't worry about any of this stuff. If you want to, go for it. In terms of gameplay, is tall and short. If you're taller, yeah, it looks cooler. You're more proportioned, especially for armor. It's up to you. If you're shorter, it's easier to duck and weave behind cover. For the purpose of this tutorial, I'll just make it tall, but you will, if you want to min-max your gameplay, go short. I'll just let you know right now. Gonna go loose cannon.
Another day, another set of useless bloody orders.
Nice. And for my sentence, insubordination seems fitting. You know, that's a fitting name for a loose cannon. Verbal. Let's go with that. We'll confirm and play the prologue.
Prisoners all secure, ma'am.
I'll check for myself if you don't mind.
Of course, ma'am. But do be wary. Every one of them's a filthy heretic.
That one certainly is. Keep him intact. No accidents. My master wants to interrogate him as soon as we reach the hive.
Of course, ma'am. Upon my life.
This one, however...
Makes you wonder why we even bother shipping trash like that. Save a lot of data slate work just to process the execution notice now.
What do you say, criminal? Shall I put you out of your misery?
That dude's just jealous I'm wearing his beard better.
Quiet.
Yeah.
Well? Nothing to say?
This is a mistake. I am a loyal servant of the throne. But of course, I'll just let you out now then.
Shame you'll never get to prove that.
Prime of Terror! We're boarded!
Counterfire now!
Come with us, brother. We have a way out. What do we do about that one?
Nothing. The boxers will be here to feed soon enough.
Me, free as a tart bird. Question is, what to do now?
Alright, well, what to do now? First thing, let's go to your settings. In terms, I'm just going to quickly scroll through these. I'm just recommending you go through these. You can see what I have, what suits you. Everyone's different. There we go. So again, I'll just quickly scroll through it. In terms of these, they're more about just like processing power. So the ones that you're really looking for, turning these off if you're looking for more performance. Same with the messages and combat feed. Everything else you kind of want on. For audio, this is what my stuff looks like. Again, adjust to your own preference. For now, I will turn this up because I've had people say that I'm very quiet when I talk in game. This is what my video settings look like. I use max FFV just because I like to see what I'm hitting. Everyone's different. I do use NVIDIA DLSS on automatic. Everything else is off except for frame generation, and frame rate cap is unlimited. If there was a 240 option, I'd do that because I've got a 240 Hz screen. This is all play around with it. I use a video card. I played around internal settings. When I first got this computer, the game was running on around 90 FPS, and then more or less I'm running it around 180 to 220 FPS now. Texture quality I have high, mesh quality 1, medium, most of this stuff like low, fog, global illumination, it eats up a lot of power. I'm just going to refer to it as power for everything. So, yeah, it makes the game look nice, but I think my game looks nice enough as it is, and for doubling my FPS, hell yeah, I'll take that. Turn all of this shit off if you want more performance. Especially this stuff, this costs a lot of GPU power and CPU. I turn all of this off. Like, again, it is nice if you've got like a super... I've got a current gen PC, and like this game is just one, not optimized greatly, two, it requires a lot. Just depends on what you want. If you want the better visual experience, visual fidelity, play around with it. There's optimization guides on YouTube that you can do. I'm just showing you what I have. Key bindings, again, play with what works for you. This is a subjective thing. I'm not a controller player, so do your own thing with here. In terms of inputs though, this is where it's important, especially movement. Again, this is all personal preference, but I have stationary dodge, so when I press spacebar and I'm not moving, instead of jumping, I'm going to dodge backwards. When I'm inputting forward, like a diagonal to the left or diagonal to the right forward, as opposed to jumping, that's going to dodge, because typically if you have a forward input in, you're going to jump. You don't want that. You do want to jump at times, but you typically want to be jumping forward. So I find this to be a lot more consistent than not losing my dodge iframes. And for the exact reason I just said, you don't want always dodge on. If you don't want to learn all the movement tech, turn this on. You'll be good for pretty much everything, but I do recommend, if you want to learn all the movement tech and how to be like the best player, there are times where jumping can save you and is correct, especially like on things like fire. Again, just for everything else, this is also important if you want to be like communicating through the tags. So when I do a single tag, for me it's control. It'll do the eyeball, so my character will say look over here. When I double tap it or spam it, it's going to be sending a lot of skulls. So that's what I do it. It's, again, preference. The most important thing in this entire thing is this movement stuff. So play around with that. With that out of the way, so WASD to move, or whatever your controls are, I'm going to go into more mechanics. So with your weapon, you've got your light attacks. When you hold it, you've got your heavy attacks. Now I am using mods, you're going to have a different visual experience to me. Just ignore that or hear about the gameplay mechanics. If you want to learn about mods, I can do that in another video. So that's our light and heavy attacks. Every weapon, you can also block as well. Your default state, a lot of people will walk around like this when they're all, you know, there's loot, let's go see enemies. Just hold your block. Yes, you're going to be moving around slower, but like, you're either going to be sprinting or you're going to be doing this. You shouldn't ever really be walking around like this. You're just asking to get chipped. So I recommend most of your gameplay, you're going to be sprinting, you're going to be sliding to like dodge range attacks, you're going to be dodging or holding your block out. The less you do this, the better your gameplay is. I'll put it that way. Now obviously, in lower difficulties you can chill if there's nothing on your screen, yeah, whatever, but I'm just saying when you get to higher difficulties, your default stance should be your block. So with that out of the way, every weapon also has a special attack. So with the shovel, it's a poke. Now in terms of what you're looking for, when there's a lot of enemies on your screen, low tier enemies, you want to be using, it's called, or I call it, horizontal sweeps. That's your horde clear. It's to maximize how many enemies you're hitting in each swing. And then when you want to focus a single target entity, SEM, there's a lot of ways depending on where you come from. But basically a big dude, let's call it a big dude, you want overhead swings. So see how there's like two kind of diagonal, and then it's followed by a sweep. These are okay, it's like a hybrid, can do single target, can do horde kind of weapon. But what you're really looking for when you want to kill single targets is an overhead swing. So for the shovel specifically, every weapon has different movesets. My push, so when I hold my block out and then use my light attack, I push. And then when I hold it, I'll do a push into push attack, okay? For this weapon specifically, that gives me access to an overhead swing. This is typically going to do the highest damage to single target, usually. If it's not an overhead, the other attack that's usually really good at single target is a poke. For the shovel, it's a special attack. Not every weapon has access to a full range of moves like this. The shovel is just a very good general weapon. It has a use case for every scenario. Another thing is that your melee combos, so if I do, as you saw, 1, it resets, 1, it'll reset, 1, if I do 2, now it'll reset, now I do 3, and then now this is a 3-hit combo. Some weapons have less or more. Now, if I want to cancel it, so let's say I want to do 1, 2, 1, 2, oops. So this is called a block cancel, okay? So if I don't want this third sweep because I'm trying to kill a single target, what I can do is the 2 first sweeps, because they've got a bit more of a downward angle, I hold my block, or not hold, I tap my block, and then that'll reset my combo so I can chain back into the 1, 2. Now, that also works for like pushes and push attacks. Every weapon's a little different. You'll need to play around it. I'm just telling you this mechanic exists. Another thing is light into heavy. So if I do light heavy, and then light heavy, then heavies also chain into each other. This one's just a 2 heavy chain combo. You can also do lights into a push attack, into a heavy, like depending on the scenario. Like let's say I'm about to get engaged. I know, I'm just gonna start walking forward and I'll show you what the enemies look like. I just want to tell you these mechanics exist. The melee combat in this game is incredibly in depth. On top of that, just to show you what a block looks like. It wants me to attack, but whatever. See how it eats my stamina and I don't take any damage? Now, every action has a cost. So, with no buffs or anything, it's eating like 1.5 stamina bars. With more efficiency, these could be doing nothing. See how I can tank all these guys and I'm not taking damage? Now what people will normally do is they'll be walking around, oh no, ouch, 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 and then you take corruption, when I can just be walking with blocks, okay? So that's the first thing, learn to love your blocks. Your second thing, you'll see that 2 out of 4. Now, that is a mod allowing me to do that. Yeah, cool, I just want to keep one. What dodges do, they give you invulnerability frames, as you can see. I'm able to dodge his attacks. Alright, it's that easy, and you have timed attacks. Now see how he got staggered? So see how he gets pushed back more when I time it? That's called a timed block. It's not really useful against this enemy, but against other enemies like rages, it'll be more useful. Then you can combo it into a push attack. See how far he goes now. Another thing is if you push as they're attacking, that'll stagger a lot of enemies. So Now against this many enemies, let's use my heavies. Use my block. Use a dodge. Let's like reassess the situation. Use my heavy. Just like that. Now I have taken damage. It's for the purpose of this video. Continuing on, I just want to showcase how the blocks work. Another mechanic is, see that purple bar on the bottom left? That's called corruption. When you take 2 consecutive hits, it'll eat into your health and corruption. So you're allowed to take 1 hit, and if you replenish toughness, you won't have to worry about the mechanic. So as long as you're replenishing toughness in between each kill, you won't have to worry about losing health and corruption. Just to show you, I'll try and show it. Sorry, it's been so long since I've done the tutorial. I have no idea where to go is the first thing. Obviously, read the tooltips in the top left. I haven't been reading them because I know all the controls, but to show you what sprinting looks like. Now, I'll show you what I was talking. I should have used it on that guy, but it's fine. So if I take 1 hit, see how I took more health and corruption damage? Alright, now I replenish toughness. I'm going to eat a hit here. Oh, it's because I don't have enough toughness. Alright, let's go kill some guys, replenish some toughness, and I'll show you what I'm trying to talk about. It's because I don't have enough toughness to tank the hit, so it will just naturally eat into my health. And then if you take consecutive hits, that's when you take the toughness. So I'm just going to be using a bunch of different combos just to show you. Now each weapon has like a different use case. The shovel is really good for stagger. Stagger meaning I push enemies, you know. I stagger them while they're moving. I'm pretty sure that's pretty self-explanatory. If it's not, just look it up. What stagger means online, it should make sense. So again, I'm just going to replenish some toughness to try and showcase what I'm talking about. Now I think the base replenishment is when you kill an enemy in melee, you replenish 5% of your total toughness. I wasn't looking at my toughness bar, but if I have 100 total toughness and was getting 5 per kill, then we know that's correct. I'll also show you the consecutive hit mechanic I was talking about when I have a single enemy. I'm gonna save Zola. Get him, Zola! Oh my man, it doesn't work. You think you'd pick up all the gear, like put on a vest or something, bro?
Great. You come for blood too, criminal? You said you were a loyal servant of the throne.
I did.
Then prove it.
Now, going back onto what I was talking about before, when you kill an enemy, so let me move out of coherency so I'll stop regenerating here. Oh, she's gonna keep following me, fair enough. So I have 100 total toughness. Now when you kill an enemy with range, unless you have a talent that specifically benefits that, if you saw there, I didn't replenish any toughness, so note that if you don't have any talents or skills that allow you to regenerate toughness from killing an enemy at range, you will not replenish toughness with range kills. It's very easy to gain access to that, but it's not a base skill. You only replenish toughness in melee. That's it, Zola, you tell me what to shoot. Now let's try and show this. Oh, now I have Zola, so it's going to be hard, but if you just rewatch, you'll see what I'm talking about. If I take 2 consecutive hits, even if I have enough toughness, it'll eat into my health and give me corruption. As long as I'm replenished toughness in between each time I'm getting hit, or I have something called yellow or over toughness, you'll be fine. And I'll explain that when we get to it. That'll be probably a couple of episodes in. So even ranged weapons have specials. This one's a flashlight. Some weapons will have lasers, some will have a punch, a bayonet. They're all different.
You're actually not bad at this.
Born survivor,
Damn, son. So objectives will show at the top right. I'm assuming that's a Storm Raptor, even though it looks like a Valkyrie. It's alright, I won't judge. That's it, that's the prologue. I've showed a little bit more mechanics than the game does, but now that we know of those mechanics, let's go implement them in a game.
Great.
Oh, okay, well I thought this was done, never mind. Well, let's implement those abilities now. Again, obviously I'm pretty chill. This is not like the limit of my gameplay. I'm just having fun here while I'm trying to explain and help you guys out. Okay, let's just go to the shovel. Alright, I'm a melee player anyway. Yes, let's play. A lot of enemies, so like I said, we want the horizontal side swings. As a veteran, if you're doing a shooter build, maybe shoot there, but the shovel's more than good enough.
You done any time soon?
Still alive out there. Guidance is reset, so we're out of here.
Well, you coming or not? You helped me. Maybe I can help you. No promises. You'll probably wind up dead.
I was dead anyway.
Very poetic. Just don't tell anyone I let an escaped prisoner save my life. Or you'll be more than dead.
Let's get the hell out of here.
Damn, I'm looking hot. Now, first things first,
Welcome to the Morning Star.
yeah, well that.
Mr. Grendel's void ship, and you're home from now.
Alright, oh, I probably should listen to that. So tell me what to do. Report to the strategy GM. Okay, first thing is, the soundtracks and all that is done by Jesper Keed. Spelled like that. Do yourselves a favor and look him up. Dude's something else. Why isn't my chat working? Assuming I'll get access to chat later. So let's go through all this stuff. I won't skip cutscenes.
Ah, so the next step before we can...
Is this kind of no-opa the best we can recruit these days?
This one could be useful. Claims to be a loyal servant of the throne.
Sounds great.
This
I'm
is...
Sergeant Major Morrow. You're fresh meat. Mission briefings come through me. Let's see what you can do.
All right. Get to the Psychanium.
Alright, cool. Now the Psychanium, it'll tell you where to go, and you'll learn where everything is over time. They should add a minimap, but there is none. The Psychanium is basically where you'll test stuff. You'll have to do the additional training to unlock all the enemies there, but it's a great way to test builds, see their damage.
May feel real, but don't worry, you won't get hurt, not unless you anger Persephone. Don't be alarmed by my little puppets, but do shoot them, or hit them, a lot, with whatever weapon takes your fancy. They won't feel it, they're not real. They exist only so that you can learn more about me and about the weapons you carry. Stay as long as you like. Stephanie likes the company and the taste of your bloodlust.
What an existence.
Oh, good. Another one.
Alright, let's do this basic training.
Oh, welcome to the Psychanium,
I
little
punch.
one. Let's make a soldier of you.
Form a light attack
You can
chain.
chain light or heavy attacks in any order. Chained attacks have different angles of attack and damage properties.
So basically what I taught you guys already. As you can see, each weapon's different. This is a cool weapon if you like to parry.
Some weapons have a powerful special attack. Others have a special ability that changes their next attack.
Love this weapon.
Pushing can stagger groups of enemies. Pushing requires stamina. Grenades can be equipped and thrown.
Now, every class has a different blitz. I can't, okay. For veteran, your blitzes are your grenades. They're different to your abilities, or abilities otherwise known as ultimates. Ah, I don't have the shredders, that's right.
Your combat ability massively increases gun handling and damage for a brief time. Dodging allows you to evade range fire and melee attacks.
Nice and easy. It's all about timing, it's about the visual timing.
Your toughness. Once your toughness is broken, they damage your health.
This is what I was telling you guys about.
Enemy attacks will stagger and stun you if you have no toughness.
See how my hands recoiled there when I took health damage.
Killing enemies in melee replenishes toughness. Each nearby teammate also grants toughness regeneration.
It's not that fast usually, but just to give an idea.
That marks the
Ignore
end
the
of
errors.
training. You are now
I'm gonna
ready
leave
to
this.
serve. Should you
Now I recommend you do the additional training there. That way you unlock all the enemies in the Psychanium. Just for the purpose of the video to show these things in game, I'm going to skip it, but if you're new, please do that additional training. It is worth it. So cool. Now when I press escape and go to operative, this is what it looks like. You have the las gun and shovel. You have your cosmetics. Your masteries are, as you use weapons more, you learn basic expertise in them, which will unlock blessings. Because I've already completed this on another veteran class, these are all unlocked, but as you unlock them, play more games, you're able to be put points and unlock everything, and then every weapon can be empowered to have like a max rating of 500. Whereas my current rating is... I can't even see it because it's that shit. Okay, fair enough. Don't have any talent points. Yep, cool. Now let's do some cosmetics. I think we're ready to go now, guys. Now you won't have resources, so don't worry about that aspect. I'm just basically using them for the sake of speedrunning everything and progress to show you the important things. I can't report to the Sanctum. I thought I had to do a penance thing. Penances are basically like a free battle pass. They keep adding to it every time a big content drop comes in. Damn.
I am Grendel. It is my honor to serve the God Emperor of mankind and fight the darkness that contaminates the Imperium. The supreme power of the Holy Inquisition is mine to wield. Who am I?
I'm a warrior.
Atoma Prime is a vital stronghold of Imperial power.
I'm a reject.
The darkness, no matter the racking storms of space, Atoma Prime must stand resolute. But a threat has come. The very darkness I am sworn to deny. Who am I?
I'm a reject.
I have learned that Atoma is cast by the dark state of truth. Chaos is the arch enemy of mankind. It is the damnation of the warp. It is everything I am sworn to oppose. Who am I? It can only be cast out by the light of the throne and the scourging touch of flames. Who am I? As an instrument of the Inquisition, and no matter the risk to body and soul, I will purge the hive from top to bottom, and cut out every scrap of darkness I find. Who am I?
Well, from zero to hero. Here we go.
The Inquisitor clearly thinks you have what it takes. And as you've come through all that unscathed, Tertium shouldn't hold too many terrors for you. Report to the mission terminal for your first assignment.
So as you saw there, basically walked forward. This is the mission terminal, this massive green thing there. You press the corresponding button. You normally don't have a cut screen.
Terminal, did ya? Guess that means I can't have you executed. Not yet. This is the heart of the operation. Your best friend if you want to stay in my good books. Atoma's in trouble. No two ways about it. The only hope we have in this mess lies in us sending our strike teams where they're needed. Making a difference wherever we can. For as long as we're still breathing. No guarantees on that last bit, by the way.
See that teamwork, guys? Try to get that.
So,
That's the teamwork
ready
you want.
to be a hero? Then think again. You're a reject. Fight like it.
That's right. Fight like a cornered rat. Try. Okay, fair enough. So the first thing I want to go over. So when you click into your weapons with the escape key, every weapon has different marks. Play around with them. I'm not going to go through every single weapon, just know that they exist. So for example, on the standard shovel, my light attacks are single target. That's what this symbol means. My heavy attacks are like multiple hitting. 1, 2, 3 hits multiple. The second one is all about hitting as many enemies as possible, and then with its special attack, which is just here, you basically fold over the shovel and it becomes really good at single target damage, much like this one, except as you can see, its heavy chain is more designed to single target. Again, just use what you like. I'm going to stick with the standard shovel for the purpose of this. You have different cosmetics as you play more of the game, purchase them, etc. This is the 500 mastery one. You won't have access to a lot of these. I'm just putting them on because I want to. What I'm trying to show you though, when you inspect a weapon, you'll come up with all this information. If I press E, weapon details. I don't know if this is a part of a mod. I don't think so. I'm pretty sure this is just in the game. If it's not, I apologize. You'll see like unarmored, infested, flak, unyielding, carapace, maniac. Those are all basically the different armor types. So when you're using a light attack, this is the damage that you're going to be doing. As you can see, struggles a lot versus carapace, so that's something to consider. Heavy attacks, same thing. Special attacks, same thing. It'll give a quick breakdown. Know that these exist. So relentless is a wide attack that staggers many enemies at once. Strike down, a powerful attack targeting one enemy, and a quick poke attack that ignores stagger reduction. So what that means is, unless it's a boss, the shovel, if you hit it in the head, will basically stop anything in its tracks. It ignores whatever reduction from armor from armor that it's gaining. Increases impact and damage versus increased impact and damage versus armored enemies. So again, pretty good against carapace. When I say pretty good, there are ways to make it better, but better than this, as you can see. So with the attack patterns out of the way, it's showing you the chains. So if I just spam light attack, they're all basically, this is a light, this is a vanguard attack because it comes from the side, but I'm assuming they put that because it doesn't have a lot of impact or cleave. So it'll basically use that for a headshot from the side, but I don't really like the third chain. This is getting a little bit more technical, so bear with me. Additional data. So I've got 4 dodges. The dodge distance is lowered by 4% because of my mobility stat. As you can see, the dodge distance. The sprint speed also impacted by mobility. My stamina is +4. That's just, the stamina is just based on the weapon. The shovel is a high stamina weapon, so getting 4 additional stamina on top of your base stamina is pretty big. Then you've got your sprint costs. Now going over to the left here, this will basically give a breakdown of the weapon. This is pretty accurate. The shovel is versatile, and yes, it does do a lot of crowd control. These are going to give you the numbers, assuming it is unarmored. And then you have different modifiers that will increase and reduce these according to the enemy and talent nodes. Every weapon has 5 characteristics, is what I'm going to call these. The shovel in particular has damage, defenses, first target, mobility, and penetration. That's a pretty well-rounded mix of characteristics, especially considering the shovel innately has a lot of cleave, meaning it hits multiple enemies and damages multiple enemies in a single hit. Again, I'm not going to go through every single one. I'm just teaching you that this exists. So look at your weapons, try and figure out what they're designed for. As you can see, it's got damage, defenses, mobility, penetration, and first target is nice for like if you run up to elite and you want to get an alpha strike on it. This is a well-rounded weapon. Damage on the shovel is light attack and heavy attack damage, as I was explaining before. Defenses affect the sprint and push cost. First target is the light and heavy attacks damage on the first attack of a chain. So if you hit 2 enemies, first target's only affecting the first one hit. So again, if you're trying to like nuke a priority target. Mobility affects the sprint speed, dodge distance, and dodge limit, and how this interacts with different weapons is different, so check with each weapon. And penetration, as you would assume, is the bonus damage you're more or less getting or ignoring versus those armor types. So just know they exist. Again, we have damage, ammo, stopping power, mobility, and stability. On the las gun, if I inspect it, it's all the same stuff. I can see all the damage breakdowns. Clearly, both of my weapons suck against carapace. My secondary action, so my right click for PC is aiming down sights, and my special action is a torch. If I take that off now, stability on a ranged weapon is hipfire recoil, hipfire moving recoil, aim down sights recoil, aim down sights moving recoil, the spread and sway, so like how much the gun's jerking when you're moving and shooting. All these numbers, they are correlating to the 40 to 80%. 80% is the max that you can get. So what that means is 4 out of these 5 stats can be 80%. One of these stats is, or you're basically losing 20 points. So if all of these, so 4 of these are 80, one of them must be 60, or any combination in between. As you can see, if you were to round these all up and all that stuff, you would be 80, 80, 80, 80, and 60, for example. That's just how that works. I'm assuming in a future update, we'll be able to get weapons all the way up to 100, but that's not the case now. 80% is a max roll weapon. And again, just look at all the different stuff and how it interacts, learn what your weapon is supposed to do. And as I increase and empower my weapon, which I'll show you later on, these numbers will increase and the weapon's effectiveness. So again, know that those exist, look at them, figure out what's going on. We're going to go straight into a sedition. I think this guy wants to join me. So what we're going to do, we'll just do a quick play. If you want to choose a mission, because you know there's different objectives, go for it by all means. If you're a new player, just start your first game on Sedition. I would recommend staying here for very long. Darktide is definitely a game that gets more fun the higher difficulty you go. The more you push yourself, the more fun it is. But luckily it's the start of the mission, so we're chilling. As you can see, we're sprinting, we're blocking. Lots of enemies. They all died. Use my ultimate, kill some enemies. Dodge the melee attack. Let's reload because my gun was empty apparently. Let's go to the objective. We want to stay with our team. Now see on the bottom left there's like an icon with a skull next to my allies' toughness and health. That means I'm in coherency. If I see 3 other skulls, that means I'm in 4-player coherency. That's what I want to be checking for. I have mods so I can see my players' ammo, but basically if they're on dark orange or red, try to give them ammo, otherwise share it around. You always want to be efficient. And that's, as you can see, when I lose all my stamina from blocking, I get staggered and I become susceptible to damage. Now we want to help him up. When you revive someone, it counts as blocking, so it'll use a stamina bar. It'll use your stamina bar instead. That's what I'm trying to say. Obviously I'm trying not to go too hard out, I just want everyone to chill. I'm trying to slowly show everything that I was teaching you. Just chilling. So again, default stance, block.
Perhaps. It seems someone must.
You can vault things as well. Oops. You looked at me funny. Now if I do the special, see how I push him? That's what we call stagger. So, well, actually there's two components. The first part is I interrupted his attack, that's stagger, and then pushing them back is impact. So interrupting the attack is stagger, but because I didn't hit the weak spot, I didn't get impact. Now see there? That's what impact and stagger is. Cleave is see how I'm hitting multiple enemies in one swing. That's what cleave is. Team doesn't want it, that's okay.
We are so very good.
Now that 5% you're seeing is my crit chance. If I'm playing a crit build, I do like to know more advanced stuff. What you were hearing was a heretic idol. Every map has 4 of them. Depending on the difficulty, you can get up to 200 extra plasteel, which is the material you'll use for crafting and upgrading weapons later on. Or upgrading specifically. Holy crap. It's hard to talk about that. Holy shit, I cannot use this. Too used to being in melee. Now I just know where to go, but during a map, figure out where you're going. I'll try to do a little bit more exploring. One of the funny things about Darktide is when you're used to high density, you'll like ignore little enemies. That what you just saw is me using a concentration stim. What that does is it reduces the cooldown of my ultimate. See how I can do it again? See how it's going, the seconds are going down really quickly on the bottom right? That's just to say I have a lot of combat ability regen. My ultimate is known as a combat ability. Now I have a med stim. Now what you can do is if you use the special, see how my left hand came up? I can give it to other people. If I right click, I can apply it to someone else. So right now I'm going to go heal Rex. See, he got healed there. So just know you can give stims to other people. You can also apply the stim to other person. Or I can left click and apply it to myself. Or primary fire. Whatever that's binded to. The reason I'm staying at the back is just to make sure no one has to worry about getting hit from behind. It's also my job to make sure I don't lag behind. They want to explore, that's fine. I'll take the ammo. Now you always want to go for headshots. If you hit a barrel once, you'll activate it, and then it'll explode. If you hit a barrel twice, you'll immediately blow it up, and you will probably kill yourself or someone. Put it that way. Get a reload while we can. Just chilling. Just making sure he knows what he gets for being a heretic. Pretty chill. The purpose of this is just to show you what your first mission will look like. But everyone's going to be different depending on your mission. Yeah, it's pretty chill. Let's throw some grenades. Just because we saw a grenade over here, I can see that Rex has one less grenade, but it's fine. Now I'm listening to sound cues. I heard that bomber talk. I can't shoot through that fence. I heard the bomber talk, so I know something. See, I hear another one. I have a mod telling me that spawn on the right, but I'm just listening to audio cues, truthfully. Here's my tag to let them know there's a stim over there.
We can charge this one.
They don't want it. Okay, that's fine. Normal Ogren. Doesn't know what he's looking at. So that means there's a horde. So see how my heavy attackers are dash there? A lot of weapons do. You will need to find out the timing of when it dashes. It's all movement tech basically. Learn how to optimize your weapons movement. Now, as a veteran with a las gun, my job is to more or less... Let's heal the team. My job is to kill specials. It was completely unnecessary to use that, but like I said, teammates didn't pick up the last one, so I'll just take the scripture for the extra resources. Truthfully, the scriptures and grimoires are pretty terrible. I wouldn't worry about them too much unless you're going for penances, especially the higher difficulty you go. The more of a detriment they are. Scriptures are fine because they don't really cost anything, but grimoires specifically cause a lot of corruption damage to you and your team, and it can cause a lot of deaths if a teammate's not prepared for it. As you could hear that ghostly screaming, I knew they were somewhere around, so we just followed the sound cue. And just following my teammate around. My teammates could use the ammo, so I'll give it to them. I'm a melee player, so I don't really care for the las gun anyway. Not right now anyway. No one wants it, I'll take it.
Sniper, there. Won't be bothered anymore. For the Emperor. You trust this flyer woman?
I find her somewhat improper, verging on unsound.
I like her. So you watch yourselves, alright?
I know there's some healing there. I'll just let Rex know there's healing over there. Again, I'm covering my teammate. He wants it. It's fine. Just here to protect teammates. Showing you how to apply the stuff that we've learned. Now, if you saw those flashes there, that means they're about to let loose on attack. That's when I want to time my dodge. Hit the barrel once, let them know that's going to hit. Nice. He didn't dodge that intentionally, but it's fine. Just the attack speed. Now, you don't want to face tank shooters like I just did. Known to dodge there, but I know I wouldn't die, so I was chilling. Ping for my teammates. Now, plasteel and diamantine, both resources you'll use to empower weapons. They're shared across the team, so as long as someone picks them up and you complete the run, everyone will benefit. I'm going to change the weapon FOV and I'm going to get exploded. Yep. I don't like how far in it is. That's a little better. I'll go with that. Sorry, I don't know how it looks for you guys, but on my screen it just looks really funky. That just feels like a lot nicer for me personally. There you go, so using your blocks there. You want to use a grenade. Now, with the talents I have now, which is nothing, I shouldn't have done that, but I keep thinking I have all my talents. That was me having a forward input just to show you what not to do. Make sure you let go of the forward input if you're on PC. Honestly, it's pretty chill. Rex needs some ammo, he's not picking up anything.
Elimination protocol engaged.
That's not one of our guys, yeah. I heard him pull the pin on the grenade. Oh, I'll heal myself. Again, these are new guys, so they're not really taking all the materials and all that. So, I may as well take it, show you what they do. I'm so slow, holy crap. I forgot what it's like to be level 1. Now I haven't really been going over like how to play the map and stuff. But typically what you want to be doing, you've been seeing me just walk into the middle chilling, you don't want to do that. So if I'm engaging this, use the cover, move to cover, move to cover. Use line of sight, so I'm blocking off all this area, I can't be engaged by range there. I'm using that to block off my right hand side, so I only need to look left as I'm going here. Obviously I can't fucking do this, but I'm trying to give you an idea. So let's go open the roof. And on this map specifically, do your thing, but what a lot of people do like to do, you set up here, you get all this terrain to block shooter, line of sight, you can close this gate, and now you can just funnel enemies. Again, play what you want, experiment, but if you're looking for what you're looking for in every map, that's what you're looking for, ways to block line of sight, create funnels, areas where you can maximize area effect damage, like grenades, like your inferno stuff, like your plasma gun, etc. But to be more of a team player, despite that being better than fighting in the middle, it is only a sedition, so I want to maximize how many teammates I can be around. Oh, okay, I had 2 bullets. And that was just swept going to my shovel and getting that block up instantly. It's always better to do that than try to DPS check enemies in melee range with the gun. This is good. This is basically a spawn door. You'll see a lot of people do that because, I mean, why the hell not? A good way to reduce enemy density. Not much counterplay for the AI. If it's cheesy to you, don't do it. I'm just showing you that it's a mechanic that you can use. The problem with this area is shooters will spawn there, spawn over here, and they'll just rail you from the other side of the Coliseum in high difficulties. But again, experiment, learn the maps, learn where the terrain is. It's more efficient or effective to be here, because at least you're blocking all of that line of sight to shooters. See how that sniper can't get me? I'll pick it out. Chillin'. That's why line of sight blocking terrain is important. Play around it, learn to love it, it's your friend. Dodging, blocking, terrain, most important things to really pay attention to as a new player. Now that's a specialist. It's my job to kill them from range with a lasgun build anyway. They're an asshole. He went down, we go for a team, we grenade to create stagger, reduce enemies near me so I don't get staggered out of it, get him up. Back in coherency, we're chilling. Did they kill this guy? I'm assuming not if they're chasing it.
Military station.
Hit fire, and this is weirdly inaccurate. That's just using our blocks and our push attacks to try and reduce damage while we're not looking. So like I was explaining before, when you see those little flashes on their muzzle, that's your time to dodge. Whether you do it to the side, a slide dodge, or moving forward, just make sure you dodge. That's the indication that you need to use your iframes now. Get a big man. Yeah. So what I did just there was give him a damage stim. A damage stim gives 25% damage and 25% rending. It gives 25% power. Power increases your damage, your cleave, and your impact, I believe. So how many targets you're hitting in a single attack, which is great for Oberon because his cleave is naturally really high and his impact is really high. He healed himself as we saw. And then we're going to tell our team to go over here because we've played this map before. We know the extraction is up here. So another thing with stamina, it'll naturally regen as you're doing nothing. Like I said, different actions cost different amounts of stamina. So heavy attacks don't use stamina, light attacks don't use stamina, blocking doesn't use stamina until you actually block an attack. Most specials don't use stamina, but sprinting costs stamina, and if I dodge, it delays, while it doesn't cost stamina, it delays the time in which my stamina comes back. Another thing is every weapon has an amount of efficient dodges. On the shovel it's 4, so that means after 4 dodges, so these are my normal dodges, and then these are inefficient dodges, see how they're basically halved? And then, see, when you go into the last tier, we're not even moving, you'll still get iframes, but it's a tiny amount. Basically learn how many dodges your weapon has, try not to use more than the maximum, give it a few seconds. What, 3 seconds for your dodges to come back. Give them the GG and that's your first game done. Alright, so that was the first one. This scoreboard mod on the left hand side is not natural, that's just a mod that I have. Feel free to ignore that, but it's there if you want to see. So we just unlocked a combat blade, my favorite weapon in the game personally, as a Rona. So those two weapons are fantastic single target weapons. Visual and auto guns, kind of a generalist weapon. Every mission you'll get auto dockets. There'll be different secondary objectives if there's a special condition. And we got 170 plus still. That's all determined from the actual run itself, and we just got a first green weapon. So that should mean we unlock Hadron. I'll have a look at that and I'll probably call this video here for part 1, and in part 2 I'll be upgrading our weapons to green, the next tier, and going through a uprising difficulty. 50.
Enemy
After all this
resistance
stuff.
in the hive is chewing holes in the warband. We're losing trained veterans. And what do I get to replace them with? Dirtbag raw recruits like you. So here's a chance to impress me. You need to give us your best on every damn mission. You understand? I'll be watching you.
Foreshadowing. Remember that person that looked at us there?
What does your best look like?
A lot of the story relies on you paying attention. You gotta listen to the dialogue, which I'll let you do in your own time. So we've unlocked the armory exchange. Perfect. This is where we'll be able to purchase new weapons. So let's go purchase a new weapon. So this explains the
An
armor
operative
exchange,
lives
how
or
they get
dies
it,
by their
their
weapon.
weapons.
But the supply situation's dire, so we use whatever we can get our hands on. I've cleared you for access to the armory exchange. From there, you can requisition reconditioned weaponry recovered from the field. Be sure that you're always carrying the best that's available.
True.
Looking for a specific weapon type? Put in a request with Quartermaster Brunt, or one of his servitors. What you get won't be top of the line, but it should cater to your tastes.
Assignment Reclamation Zone 15A. May I be of assistance?
Alright, and this is the guy that we basically buy weapons and curios from, so... let's do the combat axe. No, let's do the combat blade. So, now with this one, choosing between the two, this one has more damage, but this one has more penetration. Let's go. Me personally, I'd probably go for this one, but for the purpose of what most people would do, more damage, let's buy this one.
Clearance granted.
And let's go use this revolver. Well, actually... let's use an infantry autogun. So we're using the las weapon. This is basically like your AK-47 or Warhammer 40k, more or less.
Authorized.
Now, I don't have any curios because I'm not high enough level.
Commencing disengagement.
Now, I can't upgrade weapons, so we'll worry about that in the next episode. Now, as you can see, I have a power rating now. This is a power rating of 40. This is a power rating of 30. When I fully upgrade this weapon, it'll be max damage and everything else will be slightly less, but it's, like I said, dispersed statistics. So what, 160, 320, every weapon has more or less a cap of 380 points, and this is how they're going to be allocated at max rank. So this is the Mark 6 knife. The Mark 3 is your single target variant, the light attack. So let me show you what this is. So assassin, fast attacks targeting one enemy, efficient on weak spots, which is very true. Like I said, you just use on single targets. And then your heavy attacks are for AoE, and then the last one is a strike down. Change the Mark to... oh, was that one? That's fine. Go to the Mark 6. Heavy attack again for single target, and its light attack is for cleaving, if that makes sense. Just use them, you'll understand what I mean. They're a little bit different. I use Mark 3 more at the moment, but we'll keep the Mark 6 on. Make sure you equip it. That's the main thing. Let's use that. I'm not going to use this weapon again, so for me it's X. Let's discard it. Nice, I got some auto dockets from it. So I won't be using this shovel again because I've got a better one here. Fantastic. So with the infantry autogun, I think it has the same characteristics as the las gun: damage, mobility, stability, ammo, and stopping power. It's just a different weapon and plays differently, and that's what I'll be showcasing for the talents. I have 3 points. Now, if you're here just for optimizations, this is the best one for veteran, second best and third best. I'll do the best one just to show how it works, but long shot, 20% range base damage, bonus is reduced the nearer the target. Go into the Psychanium like I showed before, use your tag to learn distances, see how far it is. Like I said, it's there to be tested. To make things easy, you typically don't go all 3 points here unless there is a niche for your build. You're practically wanting to use as least amount of points to finish off a keystone, then use your remaining points to kind of round out the build. So the build I'll be going for later on is like a double DOT build, damage over time. I'll be applying burning stacks and bleeding stacks to enemies, then using a rending weapon to give that armor penetration on those damage over times. I think it's a very fun build, and it'll just give you a baseline. If you like doing a lot of damage and having a lot of survivability, it's definitely a build anyone can pick up and have a lot of impact on. So going back to what I said, we're going to go one motion so I can swap between weapons 25% faster. If I'm shooting something and then I need to pull out my melee weapon to get a block off, that's what that's going to be impacting. Out of these two, just find moments and times to reload. Obviously you're not going to try and reload when there's 10 guys around you, so this has some case uses, but I prefer Out for Blood. The reason I prefer Out for Blood, like I mentioned before, ranged kills do not replenish your toughness unless you have some type of interaction. Like this says, your kills, doesn't specify melee or range, just your kills replenish an additional 5% toughness, so melee kills will replenish 10% toughness if I'm not mistaken. But what it will also do is your range kills now go from 0% toughness replenishment to 5%. So if I have 100 toughness, every time I make a ranged kill, I'm going to be regenerating 5 toughness. Every time I make a melee kill, I should be regenerating 10 toughness, and I can verify that when we see in the next episode. Going back to what I want before, again, or said before, minimizing points, we're going to take the movement speed here so we can start getting into our blitz and aura abilities, coherency abilities or auras, and then our abilities, and then eventually keystones. That's everything done for the first episode. Just want to give a basic introduction, basic mechanics, show them in game. The next one we do will probably be 2 games in Uprising. I'll show you the difficulty difference because again, lower difficulties are very slow paced. They're just a great way to learn the mechanics. Once you understand the mechanics, push yourself as much as you can. I really recommend that. With that out of the way, that's part 1 done. I'll see you again in part 2 for Uprising, applying new weapons and talents, and taking you through the process of learning Darktide. God bless and take care. See you in the next one.